Hi, so this is week 3 of Inktober, and Monday's prompt was weak nails. Wow, it was weak, and I did weak nails. So I just drew my hand and a broken nail, and I used distress markers. I'm just a normal fineliner. Unfortunately though, some of the ink from this side transferred, but I didn't want to start it in a new sketchbook because this is my Inktober sketchbook, so I decided that I didn't really care and I would just leave it. So yeah, that was the first day. Oh, and this is antique linen distress marker, and use a pinky one. Can't remember what it was called. It wasn't spun sugar. I don't know. Then the next day's prompt was angular, so I just literally drew the first thing that came into my head, which was these protractors and stuff from, like we used to use at school. And I drew a little compass just because I wanted to do something a bit different. And again, I coloured them in just quickly with the distress markers. I used spun sugar, antique linen and milled lavender on that one. And then, oh, I think the nail colour for the other pictures was tattered rose, by the way. Yeah. So then the next day, prompt was swollen. So I did this finger with all these like swollen boils on them. I was thinking like bee stings or something. And I used tattered rose again, spun sugar for the boils, antique linen and pumice stone just for the shadow. And I picked hands and fingers because that's something I've been studying recently, just like in my practice sketches. So it was a good excuse to do that for Inktober. And I deliberately did a janky finger, if you're just wondering about the proportions. I thought that having boils on your finger would probably make it look janky. That might be a good Halloween witch's finger actually, if you did that in green. But I don't do Halloween. Okay, then the next day's prompt was bottle. And the first thing I thought of was Malibu. Actually, that's a lie. The first thing I thought of was that bottle that I drew on day 1 with the poison in it. And then I was like, what bottles do I have in my house? And I didn't want to draw a Pepsi bottle because that seemed a bit boring. And I couldn't think of anything else apart from the bottle of Malibu that's sitting on top of my fridge for like the last year, because I drink it like very, very, very slowly. But I thought it would be cool to try and capture some of the dimension and the light. So this is the where the light hit it, I guess. And I did the little motif and the wording, and then the bottom of the bottle is clear because the label finishes here. And I tried to draw this. I think that bit came out okay, but I don't like the top. But apart from that, I kind of like this. It's pretty cool. Then the next day, the only thing I could think of for scorched was burnt toast. I thought about drawing a burnt house, but I thought that would be a lot of black, and I didn't know how much ink this could take, and this still ended up being a lot of ink, but never mind. I'm not quite happy with the texture I got on this. I think I said before that colouring in this kind of ink is not really my thing. I'm more of a colour pencil artist, or I paint. I do like to colour with alcohol markers, but this is an alcohol marker paper, so I knew that it would just bleed right through. So I've been using my distress ink markers. I would really, really like to get some Tombow markers at some point, because I think I could have done a better job. But anyway, it's burnt toast or scorched toast. And then yesterday's prompt was breakable, and the two things I thought of were a mirror and hearts. So I did a broken mirror and then I used hearts around the edges, and I just did this weird swirly design. I kind of enjoyed just drawing that, and I used my black brush pen from Faber-Castell, the Pip pen, for the black, and the grey is pumice stone, and I just used the lavender on the mirror reflections. I wanted it to kind of look a bit drab. I didn't want to use like really bright or bluey colours, because I don't know, I just wanted it to look a bit macabre and gothic, I guess. Yeah. And then today's prompt was drain. So I literally drew a drain because it was the first thing that came into my head. I was thinking about all the dishes I had to do. So this is my kitchen sink. Well, just the drain. But I also drew the plug and the little stuffer thing that collects all the food. So yeah, that was this week's Inktober. These are literally 5-minute or 10-minute sketches. I'm not doing anything too serious because the whole point of Inktober for me is just to get me drawing every day, and I don't really care if they're masterpieces or not. In fact, I prefer them not to be because they're in a sketchbook. So yeah, that's my Inktober week 3. I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching. Bye!